When the art team gets this from JSonic, we have an absolute heart attack because...
Yeah, that's the part you don't see. It's like, you're like, great, skylines, but am I in a fucking grain silo? I can't see it. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And that's the challenge. So we have this game system we want to make. But for a Bioshock game, skylines need to feel like part of the city. So we talk about this. When we start talking about it, it's like, if you have a city where you have these basically floating islands, how do people get around it? How do they move freight around it? How do they transfer things around it? I think you know from playing our games that we wanted, when we built Rapture, as ridiculous as it is, with these big daddies and little sisters walking around and all these splicers running around, we want to feel like it's a place that was believable in its own context and within the rule set we had. And so, we start talking about, well, why, we know we wanted these islands from a gameplay standpoint. It's like, well, how do they work in the city? So we started doing things like, well, they would probably transport, cargo around these things. So we started putting lines where you can see these cargo containers hanging from them. We want to feel like there's places that people are actually using these things within the city because sometimes there's no other way to get around in a city that's structured like this. And so it's really important to us that it not feel like, a Ratchet and Clank thing, which is, and when you start with protocol like that, you see something that's very cool from a gameplay perspective. You can start to see the possibilities of fighting on those things and jumping off and shooting things. But we then have to make sure it feels part of Columbia and integrated.
It needs to tell a story. Why are they there? They're not just these designer drawn-out splines. Like they have to either be there for transportation or there for, the cargo, like Ken says. Do we have the video of the straight line cruise? Yeah, I think that, this is a good evolution to show, like when Justin comes to us with that map and it's pure design and it's pure jumping around and navigating, then it comes to the art team and we have to think about, like, well, how do we make this fun and how do we make it visceral?
And believable.
And believable. Like, how do you make you feel like when you're on this thing, it's dangerous and, you're holding on by the seat of your pants. So this preview coming up will be like our first attempt at showing that.
Sean put that together and we were like, oh yeah, we can do this. This will be amazing.
And if you think about it, so much of that is like, it's the same thing, but it's aesthetic and a sound effect. And like we work with sound like, this is like being on a roller coaster, but you're hanging in midair and you've got a fucking gun. And,